Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It's the Sith Council with me. Just me today. No, I'm just kidding. Everybody would start dropping out about it. Nice to have you back on the Sith Council here today on Wednesday, March 3rd. You think I knew that off the top of my head? Nope. Calendars. That's what happens. It's a big calendar right in the bottom of your computers. I don't know if you guys knew that. Calendars on these things. Nice to see everyone. I can't see any of you behind a computer, but it's nice to be with you. Joining me on the show today, Darth Sabraw, Darth Kalinowski.
Me and my chicken breast, like you said.
Chicken boy.
Chicken boy over here.
I'll talk about that in just a second, but it's nice.
You weren't as much of a wordsmith today as you were last week.
I was a better one.
Last week you were rhyming and everything.
Rhyming and moving. This one I was just trying to figure out my computer. It's like my dad trying to figure out.
Oh God, you got the two screens going?
Yeah, it was working. I do have the two screens going. Actually,
Here we go.
A little Hans Zimmer before to start the day this morning. That was helpful. But we've got some stuff. There was nothing to talk about as far as overall stories. There's like two or three.
It's a light week.
Yeah, but I mean, there's two good stories, but the rest, there was. I figure what we'll do is we're going to talk to the audience here today, and so start sending in those super chats. So just so you guys know, super chat is how we do it here. If you an Apple Podcasts and Spotify, if you follow us over there, you leave a rate and review. That's how this show really gets going. And I know that everybody's really looking forward to all of our thoughts on Bad Batch. When that starts airing, we'll be doing that. We'll be doing. I think that when those episodes, when do they start airing? I mean, not date wise.
Fridays.
It's May and it's on Fridays.
Yeah.
So crap. So we're probably gonna have to move for that week, for those few weeks, depending on where it lands within our geekdom. We might have to move the show.
Oh yeah, that's right.
In order to get that out there.
And I would think. Do you think Friday's going to be the day they always drop their shows?
Yeah.
I think Mandalorian's going to to do that.
Yeah.
Mandalorian.
Obi-Wan.
Marvel stuff is going to be on the same day, like that Friday. So
much stuff. There's
so much, dude. So much.
Yeah, there's a lot. Anyway, the other thing is stereo. If you don't know, after every show that we do here on Wednesday, we do a little after show. Steph and I are going to do one today. We'll be there on stereo. So you head on over to stereo.com/Christian Harloff. Follow us. Are there any questions that you had for us or maybe didn't get in today on this stream? You can get on over there on stereo. So follow us. It's amazing. I love stereo. Stereo is it's the app where you're able to interact with your favorite shows, and you can do it live, which is amazing.
Is it better than Clubhouse?
I like it better because it's more.
I don't know what that is either, but I just hear about it.
It's kind of a radio thing, but But anyway, so stereo is a really great app, and so what stereo is, you can interact. It's the best app that you can interact with your favorite creators. You go in there, you leave live questions, and you say, hey, I wanted to know about this with Star Wars. I wanted to know this. I had this, and we can hear your voice. We can talk to you. We can interact with you. And you go to Christian Harloff, you stereo.com/Christian Harloff, and you join us. And it's really fun. You start your own podcast too. You talk to your friends. It's very easy. You stick on the headphones, and that's it.
I want everyone to, when they send in a question to you, like, hey. And then the question goes. They got to start off with a hey. So anyone that does a stereo today, make sure you, when you come into the two of them, just go, hey.
It's like it's a Brett.
Chad Fennic. Hey.
Brett and I always had this this thing we always talked about how the for some reason the really, really drunk guy, that's how he'd come out and hey. You know, hey, you, hey.
The wheeze is what's got me.
Yeah.
The wheeze?
Come on. It's like
for our audio listeners.
The drunk people and Dagnino, because Dagnino does the same thing. Dagnino goes,
he's got the hand up. He's like, hey.
He's listen.
Hey.
I mean, Steph. He's doing it right.
You know?
I mean, you got Kalinowski over here.
Yeah, do it. This guy.
I mean, clearly the best. Anyway, this is not SEN. This is the Sith Council, and we have some stories here for you all, which is going to be interesting to say the least. So our first story that we have is is this look that we have for Fennic Shand. We knew that she was going to be in the show. That was something everyone was saying. They were like, "Oh, we know she's in it. You saw her in the trailer." And then she's she's going to be doing a little bit more, as we know from seeing the Boba Fett stuff and how that gets involved. And the question is, what overall is going to be her role in Bad Batch? Like we don't know this. And I was looking at the Star Wars Newsnet, our friends over there, and they have some great stuff. And this is the Bad Batch is ramping up its promotional campaign. Last week, we learned that the show will drop on Disney Plus on May 4th of this year, with a new episode dropping every Friday. If I would have just read the article, I would have had my own answer. And now the official Star Wars Instagram account released a story showing off the first look at Fennic Shand in the series with her helmet off. Picture was not released in a vacuum, though, and it was part of a larger series of pictures focusing on Star Wars female characters in animated form to celebrate Women's History Month. In addition to Fennic Shand, they also celebrated fan favorite characters like Padme, Asajj Ventress, Ahsoka Tano. Here is the image once again. I'm liking this image, and I think that I think we're going to see more of a badass version. I mean, not that she wasn't a badass in Mandalorian, obviously, but I think more of you started to see a little bit of the heart come out in the last few episodes, of Mandalorian. So I think that's going to go away. And we're going to see more of that kind of cold-blooded killer we saw in the first episode. What was it, episode 3 or 4, whatever the hell it was for season 1. So what do you guys think? What do you, first of all, Steph, what do you think of the look?
Sick. It's so cool to be able to see Fennic Shand in an animated version. I'm so excited for Ming-Na Wen in general. The fact that she gets to cross over animated and live action. I don't know what her character will be. I wonder if she'll be training as a shooter, getting to know, and that's why she feels comfortable with Boba. Like if she spends time with other clones. Yeah. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. Mike, what do you think?
I think it looks great. I love their animation's top notch. It's chef's kiss to me. And she looks great.
Do you think that there's going to be like what? So let's play a little.
So she's going to be not only in Bad Batch, she's also going to be in the Book of Boba.
Yeah.
Man,
she's got a lot.
Her.
And she's such a badass too. Actress.
She doesn't age.
No, she does not.
I looked at a picture of her the other day. Chun Li from '94.
Yeah.
Holy crap!
She's like 57 years old, and she's
insane.
And she's moving around. Like, I'm telling you, and I made this joke 1,000 times over. I hurt my back parallel parking. This woman is
that a true story?
That is a true story.
You're looking back like.
I just moved like this, and it was hurting for like 4 days. This woman is jumping off cliffs. She is doing all, and I'm just like, I am an embarrassment when you look at what she is doing. It's incredible. So I love this character. I love this addition of this new character, and I'm pretty excited to see what she's going to be doing in both of these. You know what I really liked about Mandalorian, the last episode. Thank you, Mike, for asking. I appreciate you asking. When you had this moment of. It was Sasha Banks and Katie Sackhoff, Ming-Na, and Gina Carano, and they were all together, and they're kicking ass, and it was just such a genuine, like, these are just didn't matter men, didn't matter women, these are just 4 badasses kicking ass. It didn't seem forced, and I loved it, and because they had set the characters up so well.
Yeah, that scene in that episode. To me, I know Skywalker took the hype, but that scene of the 4 of them coming through that elevator. Just blasting away. That to me was awesome because, like you said, it was organic. It didn't feel like some people in other movies recently did like, oh, that's the forced moment of the girls together. But this was like it brought them all together in a cool way, and it did. I don't think it got enough hype, but maybe it didn't because it wasn't like, hey, look what we're doing.
It's exactly right.
It just was storytelling.
It's exactly right. It was part of it was just part of the show. And it's like this. You didn't question it at all. You didn't say like, oh, they're just putting this together to put it together. It's like, no, this is exactly what these characters have been set up to do. They're delivering it. I believe every second of it because they're all strong, kick-ass characters. And I think that's why we care so much more now about Fennec. You see this image of her and you're like, oh, we already know what she's capable of. And you see her holding the blaster and that look of like, this is exciting to me. Steph, do you agree with this?
Yeah, that scene was definitely one of my top favorite scenes. And it was because it was so subtle and they were just so sick. And I think Star Wars has done in the past few years, especially from Clone Wars on, such a good job with their female lead characters. Like, and I know that they posted the Fennec image with other women for Women's History Month. So Padme, Asajj Ventress was in there, and Ahsoka Tano. Those characters, just those four, are one of the best, some of the best female characters in any franchise. I think they do a really good job of making them just characters, not female characters.
Agreed. And I think that's why I'm really pumped up to see what they do in Bad Batch. So curious what you guys think out there watching, listening. How do you feel about the look? And remember that we're gonna go for as long as we can, because with limited stories here today. But if you want us to keep going, you can throw in some of those super chats. If not, short show today, that's fine. We'll move on to the next one, because there's a lot of materials coming out, and there's going to be a lot of materials coming out because of all the different shows that are coming out with Star Wars. And one of those shows, it's going to be the Obi-Wan show. And there's some more news with the Obi-Wan series, and that's some casting. Now, Indira Varma, who I've been a fan of for a very long time, has been cast, and I have questions about this casting in a good way. I have questions, but here's the article once again by Star Wars Newsnet. Another Game of Thrones alum is joining a galaxy far, far away. Indira Varma has been cast in the Obi-Wan Kenobi series. Deadline is reporting that Varma is joining the cast in the series in an undisclosed role. Production is set to ramp up very soon, and the series takes place roughly 10 years after the third and final prequel movie. Revenge of the Sith will feature some kind of major rematch between Obi-Wan Kenobi and Darth Vader. Varma played Elleria Sand. I'm not going to pronounce that name. The wife of Oberyn Martell on Game of Thrones. But anyway, we know the role. Varma is very well known for small roles such as Rome. That's the one. I'm glad that they mentioned that, because that's the one that she got me immediately. Carnival Row, and most recently ABC's For Life. She was an exec producer on the UK series Indian Summer, and also starred in Ridley Scott's movie Exodus: Gods and Kings. So there's she's another Game of Thrones alum who's acted in Star Wars, including Pedro Pascal, Gwendolyn Christie, and Emilia Clarke. So Obi-Wan will be directed by Deborah Chow. We know that. Who directed 2 episodes in The Mandalorian. All right, so that's the majority of the news. Let me ask a question, and this is to you guys, and this is to the audience as well. Is there a shot? And I'm going to say that even though I'm asking the question, I'm saying that the shot is slim, but I'm still curious. Is there a shot that she plays Satine? And could she play Satine in a flashback series? So maybe he's on Tatooine. You know, he's haunted by imagery, and maybe one of those images that he's haunted by is the image of Satine. Now, I think that the pushback that some people might say is she might be a little older to play Satine from when Satine had died. And that's certainly possible, because I can also see her playing a role of someone that Obi-Wan winds up befriending on Tatooine, or someone who lives on Tatooine, or someone outside of the realm. So it's possible. I'm just curious. I just wanted to throw that out there because I could see that in a flashback series. My only pushback to myself is that Satine was younger when she passed. So what do you think, Steph?
Yeah, I instantly thought Satine, and I think all of us have wanted to see Obi-Wan and Satine, especially in a live action version, because to see him in that different character version would be really cool. But the look would be way different, because Satine is just like a very, very pale, which is totally doable with makeup. So that is a little bit interesting. And then also the age, I think if we saw her, it would be in a flashback, but I'm leaning more towards the possibility of someone that he met on Tatooine. I know in the Obi-Wan series, he had met someone, Annalene, I believe, someone named Annalene, and it was like a short story, but that's kind of what I'm guessing.
What do you think, Mike?
Well, didn't she die like 15, 19 years before Battle of Yavin?
No, not too, was it that many?
When she died. I thought that's when she
died. Well, that doesn't matter though, because this is 8 years after Revenge of the Sith.
Okay. I don't know.
Would only be about 10 years later, right? 10 or 12?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Again, her look is just, but she's a very specific look, the actress. She's a very exotic look to her. And Satine to me was kind of very, I don't want to say plain, but I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know. I think it's a new character. I'm gonna say it's a new character they're creating for the show. Maybe perhaps a love interest, if you will.
Well, here's another reason why you might. I lean towards. I asked the question. I lean towards Mike's answer also, because the other thing is she's got to look, or you would assume has to look similar to Katie Sackhoff because they're sisters, right? Or at least look like they could be sisters.
And
these two don't look like they're sisters at all. But that's also something that can always be, explained or changed.
Yeah,
but not necessary.
I think it's a new character.
I think you're right, but I also thought it was.
It would have been, it would have been really awesome. It would have been like heartbreaking if we actually heard him say, like, if you had said the word, I would have left the Jedi Order or whatever he said to her as she was dying. Yeah.
I would. I'd like to see. There's nothing that says they still can't do that. It just doesn't necessarily have to be her.
Yeah. That's true.
She's just big news casting. She's in the realm of the geek show. She's kind of a big thing.
And I know she made her mark. I know she really made her mark in Game of Thrones, and is how she was able to play that vindictive if she wanted to. But Rome was the show that got me with her, man.
That's what I heard. Everyone kept being like, I know her from Rome, not Game of Thrones. But
she's
Ryan
phenomenal.
Nilsson told me something really interesting that I didn't even put together.
What's that?
There's like over 30 Game of Thrones actors who have been in Star Wars.
30?
Some crazy number. I'll put the website in the chat right now that goes up. And this was before her casting, so it doesn't count her. But it's an insane.
I found her. She did a show, 10 years ago now. It was Human Target, the DC Comics show. She joined the second season, and she was like the female lead second season. So that's what I discovered her like 10 years, because I never saw Rome. I'm late to the party on Game of Thrones. I know.
That's all right. But that's the beauty of streaming, is that you could always.
I remember your reaction to that final season when we were in the Schmodown Collider office, and I did that tweet or something about it, and you're just like, no, everyone's gonna love it. And I go, okay.
I didn't say everyone's gonna love it. I said that whole thing is when people just lose their minds. Or I said not everybody hated it, is what I said. And I was certainly one of those people who didn't hate it. I'm ready
for Friday night to see what happens with everyone losing their mind. Oh, they're gonna with the director already, like, people are gonna be disappointed. It's already gonna. I'm letting you know right now.
Yeah, but maybe that's a way. Maybe that's a way to kind of
soften the blow.
What's his name?
Not even soften the blow. Not even soften the blow. What if it's like absolutely incredible and he knows it?
Has Marvel ever let people down? That's all I need to say.
I think some people would say yes.
Really?
I think so. I mean, I'm not necessarily. I mean, there's Iron Man 2 was a bit of a letdown.
I like Iron Man 2.
I don't mind it. I tell you what, I don't mind that.
Coming from a guy that's got to watch these movies ad nauseum.
I don't mind Thor. I don't mind Thor.
I like Hulk. I like Incredible Hulk.
Incredible Hulk's one of my favorites, by the way.
I enjoy the hell out of that. I enjoy the hell out of that movie.
Love it.
I can't wait for She-Hulk.
Guardians of the Galaxy 2. Anytime it comes up, I want to put my head right through the.
All right. Okay. All right. Fair enough.
Oh no.
That's it. I don't. Yeah, I'm not a fan of that film either.
Yeah, but either this is not a Marvel podcast. I apologize.
I know. Look at me.
This is for Star Wars. Anyway, hey, all you guys. So we're gonna be talking about some more stuff. This is a Rolling Stone article that I saw, and this is it's another one that. This is all the stuff that's going to be on. I need to get the hell out of here with this stupid pop-up thing. Everybody needs to do pop-ups. Here is.
Got to get those ad revenue.
Whatever. Here from a galaxy far, far away to your TV. Here's everything Star Wars streaming on Disney Plus. Okay, and we don't need advertising. By the way, go please check out the shirts on Skybound for all the stuff that we have going on with faction merch. So no more advertising.
Yeah, if you want to make yourself 100% more sexy, get yourself a corruption shirt. They look great in the red and black. Right. They really do. Everyone's posting them. They're looking great.
All right, no more advertising. Make sure you go and get the pay-per-view this weekend. It's going to be on Friday between Dan Burrell and Snyder. It's going to be a big one. Make sure you check that out. That's the last bit of advertising. And join Patreon today. Patreon.com/Schmodown. Please go and check that out. Okay, from a galaxy far, far away to your TV, here's everything Star Wars streaming on Disney Plus. Okay. Products featured are independently selected by our editorial team. I don't care about any of this, Rolling Stone. I want to know about the article. Long ago, in a galaxy far, far away, Disney Plus became the home of an entire Star Wars franchise with a massive catalog of content spanning from A New Hope, Rise of Skywalker, and beyond. Theatrical releases, animated classics like Star Wars The Clone Wars to new exclusive shows, everything in the Star Wars universe with the exception of the wonderful train wreck known as the Star Wars Holiday Special. It's available to stream on Disney+. It's also a great time to be a Star Wars fan if you want to delve deeper into the extended universe, as there are plenty of new shows currently in development. Extended universe is not, I don't know if that's necessarily the term that should be used, considering that you link it to, Legends and all that. Kathleen Kennedy announced a massive rollout of new Star Wars titles at the most recent company's Investor Day, including several series and films coming to Disney+. Upcoming films include Rogue Squadron, directed by Patty Jenkins, and an untitled upcoming Taika Waititi-directed film. There are also several new shows: Obi-Wan Kenobi, The Mandalorian, the Ahsoka, starring Rosario Dawson. Now, here's what you can watch on Disney+. Got Mandalorian. We know that. We have all these different. Is there anything like different? The Ewoks movie isn't on there, right? This is everything. Episode 4, episode 5, episode 6, episode 1, 2, 3. So all the movies are there. Clone Wars, Rebels. I mean, we know a lot of this stuff, right? Was there anything on this article that we missed? I know we have Mandalorian. Here we go. Clone Wars, Rebels, Resistance, Forces of Destiny. If you didn't know that, and Star Wars Blips, which is 1 minute short starring BB-8. Lego series. You got Lego Star Wars, the new Yoda Chronicles. You got Droid Tales, The Resistance Rises, the Freemaker Adventures, All Stars, and the Lego Star Wars Holiday Special. See, I didn't know that all those Lego ones were there, so that's something new. I think that's everything though. And then you got Shaq.
There's the new stuff.
this is the new stuff coming in. Obi-Wan Kenobi, the Book of Boba Fett, Visions. That's one. Andor. All right, so this is good. We have the filming here, but we don't have like the air date. So Obi-Wan Kenobi. This is the stuff we really should dive into. Obi-Wan Kenobi starts filming late 2021. So we assume we're going to get that in 2022. The Book of Boba Fett is going to debut in December 2021.
Right.
Okay. Visions. I don't know which one Visions is. I don't remember. People will tell us in the audience what Visions is, because I don't remember that one. Andor is going to be in 2022. So already we've got Obi-Wan and Andor in 2022. Okay.
Yep.
Star Wars Rogue Squadron comes out in 2023. Ahsoka series TBA. They have not announced when that's coming out. You would assume sooner than later, because they want to. I feel that they're gonna that's probably gonna also debut in 2023. I would assume. Rangers of the New Republic. I don't know if that show sees the light of day, but maybe it will.
We really don't think. Why not?
I shouldn't say light of day as much as I say they're probably going to put it on the back burner.
I don't think so.
Okay, well, we'll see. The Bad Batch, that TBA, that's not TBA. That comes out in May. We know that. Droid Story, don't know what that is. Lando, also, no word on that since the announcement of it.
That's the one I could see not seeing the light of day.
Yeah, me too.
They didn't even announce Glover starring in it when they announced
it.
Right.
So the fact that they didn't do that, I'm like, that's something's weird.
Yeah.
See, look at this. Look at this already. I don't
know.
What am I
looking at?
Look at this. Rangers is rumored to already have been canceled. So, I mean,
Come
I don't
on
know.
now.
I don't know. The Acolyte, that's the one I'm very curious about. That one I want to see him put that into production. And then same thing with Taika Waititi project, live action film TBA. And then they're not even mentioning the Kevin Feige stuff, like where that is. So there's a lot. If we start here with obviously all of us, you look at this list that we're staring at.
Yeah.
I think we all agree, and maybe I'm wrong. I think that Obi-Wan is the one that everyone wants to see the most. Is that accurate, or does somebody have something else? Who's this guy? Get out of here.
Who, the guy at the bottom there?
Who's that guy? Is that guy from Metallica?
He looks passionate.
He looks
very
passionate.
Yeah, I think you're right. Obi-Wan. I think everyone's been hoping for something like this for decades.
Yeah, Obi-Wan, right? That's the one.
That's the one.
That's the one. Because
People have been calling this for 20 years. They wanted an Obi-Wan thing.
Especially now, Hayden's going to be in it, and then the casting they're going to have 8 years after Revenge of the Sith. That's got to be the most anticipated, I think, Star Wars property since Episode 7 was coming out. It's got to be the most anticipated. There's going to be people are going to be losing their minds when that happens.
Love or hate the prequels, you can't argue that Ewan McGregor was top notch.
And that's changed, by the way. That because Mike, after the prequels came out, and for at least 10 years, the prequels were getting a reaction of just like, oh my god, the prequel. I don't think that happens as much anymore. I think because
I'll tell you,
the kids that grew up with that, the kids that grew up with those movies, they swear by him because they grew up with him. And I'll be honest with you also. I have way more of an appreciation for the prequels now after watching all of Clone Wars and after watching prequels, knowing that George Lucas's vision that he had when he was very involved in the Clone Wars series ties into the overall philosophies and what he was doing and the setup for the prequels. I have a stronger appreciation for the prequels than I used to.
I'll say, having to rewatch those a lot, I love the Phantom Menace now. Like, that's of the three that I'll go back and watch the most. Like, there's just something genuine and wholesome about the Phantom Menace that reminds me of what I watched when I saw the originals. But they're doing now, the Clone Wars did what they're doing now with like WandaVision, and they did with Thor Dark World, where like the films now or whatever, or TV shows are going back to movies that people weren't really didn't like Age of Ultron, and making it like part they did it with Dark World and Endgame, and now they're doing it with WandaVision and Ultron, where they're making like, oh, okay, I like that film now. So
it just makes moments in the films that much more special, right? Like even a movie that was beloved. But speaking of WandaVision, there's a scene in WandaVision where I'm not going to spoil the whole thing. Kat Dennings is talking to Vision, and she's just kind of giving him a play-by-play of what happened, right? Mm-hmm. And it ties back to the events of Infinity War. And immediately I pushed pause and I went over and I watched the scene from Infinity War. I started watching that scene and I was like, yeah, it just has so much more of an impact now. And I think it's the same thing that Clone Wars did for the prequels.
Yeah.
And the same thing that all of these things, because I cannot wait until we are talking about the Obi-Wan series and the three of us are sitting here and I get to talk about when they finally show the moment of when Obi-Wan and Anakin have a thing and Obi-Wan feels like he can get him back and feels like there's still good in him. So when I go back and watch Return of the Jedi and he goes, Obi-Wan once felt as you did, I'm going to go, oh, now I know what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Let me ask you, what if that doesn't happen?
It will happen.
What if it doesn't?
It will happen.
I want to see you lose your mind on that episode that we tape. I want to see you incensed.
It is a massive missed opportunity and almost irrelevant to have him in the show if they don't do that.
All right.
It's the only reason you have him in the show. It's the only reason, because otherwise you don't necessarily need it, because when you have Revenge of the Sith, he's leaving him burnt up. He's like, your father wanted you to have this when you were old enough. When did he say that? When he was screaming for his life, when he was burning in front of you, and you just left him there to rot?
I hate you. I hate you.
He was a good friend, so I let him burn to death. And I didn't check if he was dead. I didn't just put him out of his misery and stick a lightsaber in his head. I just let him scream like an animal. But you know, all that's the last time. He knew he was Darth Vader, but I think because they show that scene when he goes to quote Mark Riley's play, henceforth you shall now be known as Darth Vader. You know, it's like if you go back and you read the novelization that was done, it's such a look inside of Anakin's head of why he turned. That's like, you know, like I said, although I definitely have more of an appreciation for the prequels, I certainly have my issues with some of the storytelling, because I think when you look at an episode of the Clone Wars, what's the one? Oh my God, I always know the Mortis episodes. The Mortis episodes are phenomenal because it explores inside of all the turmoil and pain and anguish that Anakin is going through. And that's the stuff that I always wanted to see. And that is also my issue with movies. If George Lucas had the opportunity to tell his stories on Disney Plus and tell the prequels imagine the prequels, that story of all the stuff that happened in a matter of 5 seasons, live action in Disney Plus. You would have gotten so much more detail of the turn and all of that stuff and all of everything that you wanted to see. It just wasn't available back then.
Do you think he sits back now when he's watching? He's like, well, I didn't have any of this when I wanted to do my story 20 years ago. This isn't bullshit. I want to tell my story. I think John Favreau gets all the applause now. Filoni, I wanted to do that, but I can't now.
George Lucas.
Fuck them. I'll tell. I got my $4 billion.
Easy with the language there, Billy.
It's kids. Sorry,
right, it's kids. So one of the things, though, that
the language, Billy.
Chicken boy Billy.
I'm just eating my chicken.
Don't mind me, Billy.
Mike was chewing on a full chicken breast before before the match started.
Absolute savage.
Yeah, he was. It was just going.
I gotta get my protein in. It's 8 in the morning. Gotta get my protein.
But no, I'll tell you what. As Obi-Wan said, George Lucas was a cunning warrior. And I'll tell you why. George Lucas knows exactly. You ever see George Lucas, like that clip when he's like, we're going to crush you like a bug? Like when he talked to the Jurassic Park guy?
Yes.
George Lucas
I love Lucas.
That dude is a damn baller.
Gangster.
He's a gangster. That's not the way that he does certain things and the way that he like presents certain things. He does things on purpose, right? So here's something on purpose that he has done. What movies did you see him show up to and it was very public. And movie in general. When did you see George Lucas at all? There's always a story about it.
Force Awakens, right? And then not the two after.
I don't remember him on Star Wars on Force Awakens. I don't remember.
You mean behind the scenes pictures of him?
Yeah, of him visiting the set. Now you might be right, Steph, but I don't remember that.
I know for sure he was not at Rise of Skywalker.
Certainly wasn't.
Nor Last Jedi.
Was not.
Always on the Mandalorian set.
Always on the Mandalorian.
Always Mandalorian.
That's always Dave Filoni.
Because of Dave Filoni, and because like he was, and there's his philosophy was transferred over to. I feel that George Lucas feels that the only person that actually listened to him on how Star Wars was supposed to be run, not the business, but the philosophies and the story was Filoni. And he said, and so why was he at Rogue One? Rogue One was the closest thing tied to Episode 4 that I think that you saw.
But he also said very vocally, he's like, I gave them the script and they threw it out. He gave them the blueprints for what they would do. And Kathleen Kennedy was like, no, okay, no, thanks. It was like that gif of Steve Carell with the old man in the office.
It wasn't just Kathleen Kennedy. It was JJ also.
Right.
But and someone said that he visited to see Ahsoka. He absolutely did. In the second season, he visited because he and Filoni, I mean, he just shows you how much he trusted in Filoni, because Filoni created Ahsoka, and then George's like, yeah, we should definitely use it. And they did. And then he went to visit her. They got a great relationship. So yeah, he didn't
He'll probably be at the Obi-Wan too, I feel like, because that's the next part of his story. I was a prequel kid growing up. So when you're a kid, you don't see the issue in the character development. And then but then I became like in love with Star Wars when I was in college and rewatched everything and then understood. And then you see the misses that they had in the character development, and thank God for Clone Wars, or else Anakin, you're just like, what happened? Why are you doing that?
Yeah, I think he will, because I think that if you, and I go back, this is why I'm just so kind of enamored by Deborah Chow, is that when you watch that gallery series from the first season, and you can just tell what a student of it she is. She's a brilliant like filmmaker. She's this great director in general, but like when you're listening to her watching her, she's listening to Filoni and the way that he's breaking it down. She's just like, she looks like, you ever been in like a class where you're just so like, there's classes where you're bored to tears, and then there's classes where you're just like, give me more. That's how she looked. She looked like she was just sitting there going, oh yeah. Oh, tell me, wait, that was your experience with George? Tell me, well, keep going. And like you could see the excitement on her face, and it transfers over into what she's doing and the way that she's just kind of innovative in certain shots she's taking and moves she's making. And I think that that's going to transfer over. I'm confident that's going to transfer over to Obi-Wan. And I agree with you, Steph, that I think that because of that, you're probably going to have some George Lucas appearances on the Obi-Wan series as well.
Yeah. And then going back to Visions, remember it was the anime adaptation of some of the stories that have been told in Star Wars. So they're getting like the top Japanese anime creators to reshare the story.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't know that one. Cool. All right. Well, I mean, like I said, that was the majority of stuff. I'll do one more sweep over and see if there's anything else that there's. Steph, how far along are you in that book? Did you take a break?
Yeah, I took a break, but I'm in part 2. So I'm like almost done with part 2, and then I'm going to finish it this week probably. And then I can give a full review.
Mike, any comics that we're worth talking about yet or no?
The High Republic's going. It felt like a slow episode. I say episode. They do feel like episodes now because they're coming out. I want to say it seems like it's supposed to be every month, but it seems like it came out every 2 or 3 weeks. It's interesting because it's tough. I want to like the characters, but I'm just getting such shades of prequels. It's really this High Republic period that they're stuck in. The design wise feels very much like the prequels. I was going through my old comics to find my old Last Republic. I think it was called Last Republic back during the prequels, they had tons of comics, Obi-Wan, Anakin comics, and it just even the art is very reminiscent of those things. But it's pretty good. I'm waiting for the story to end like this. They usually do it in 6 issue blocks, so I'm waiting for it to get to that to kind of give an overall. But if you're a fan of them, I definitely I don't want to talk about it because it spoils it. There's a couple big spoilers in there, so.
All right. Well, once you get to like 6, maybe we'll do like a spoiler.
Yeah, then I can talk more because it's like filler episodes sometimes on a TV show. You're like, oh well, nothing really happened this episode, but
yeah. Well, someone also said that George Lucas was also on the set of Solo, and that makes sense because of his thinking about his relationship that he had with Ron Howard, from Willow and all that stuff. So that makes a lot of sense. That would be the case. We have like 4 questions. We have 4 questions that we're going to go through. Unless people keep putting some more in, we'll stay here until they're answered. But at the moment, we're going to go through these 4, and then we'll call it a day.
What do we got?
Thank you, Mike. Thank you for asking. Appreciate that. All right, here we go. Here's the first one. We got Han talks first. Yes, he does. If Uncle Bob called you up and said, all these upcoming Star Wars projects, take your pick and you're in charge, which would you pick? For me, Kenobi. See, I would leave Kenobi alone because I like I as I just said, I'm on board with the vision that they have for this right now. I'm on board with everything Deborah Chow is going to be doing, and I wouldn't want to touch it because I know that's the case. For me, and this is not saying anything against the people that are involved. It's only because I know nothing about it, and I would like to play in that realm, and that is the Acolyte. I'd like to play that. If he was like, you only get to do, you can be in charge of one, I would be in charge of the Acolyte, because if it's a matter of putting that 300 years. Who's this now? Oh, my dad's calling me.
Uncle Bob's calling you.
No, so if it's that imagine Iger's calling you. I didn't get my phone. It's Bob Iger. He knows. Okay. Either way, I would take that over because that I would be able to implement Darth Plagueis inside of there and start that kind of movement, or the philosophies of Darth Bane, and start to really show that presence. So that's the one I think I would play with, because I'm to me it's all about the Sith and how the Sith got back in power and were maneuvering throughout that time. So that's the one I think that I would play with. How about you, Steph?
This would be a hard decision, but I think the Ahsoka series, just because I've fallen in love with that character, and so she's my favorite character, and to be able to like put her in a live action version and make sure that the story's been done justly and rightfully so would be amazing. And I'd probably bring on Deborah Chow.
Yeah, exactly. What about you, Mike?
Dash Randar. I'd make a Dash Randar series. Or do I got to go with what's?
You got to go with what? Yeah, wow. way to go against the grain.
You know me. I got to go against the grain. I'll do the Rangers.
The Rangers. Well, yeah, because there's absolutely nothing there right now. So
yeah, I would go the Rangers, and I would do a little changes in there and make Rangers the High Republic.
Yeah. All right. Well, here's the next one. Ryan Payne, if Disney decided to do a Star Wars What If series like Marvel, what story would you want to see?
Oh,
that's an easy one for me.
What a great question.
It's easy for me. What if Anakin didn't turn?
Okay.
That's
all right.
There was a series, there was a comic book, I think, or at least imagery.
Let me think
of that. That would be a great one. I'd love to see that. And maybe they do that. That would be amazing to try to do.
Okay, I got one. Can I go first?
Yeah.
What if Han was never saved from the carbonite from Jabba?
That's a good one.
Think about what happens down the line.
Yeah.
Holy that changes everything.
Everything. There's no Kylo.
Yeah.
Man. I would love to see like the story of Darth Plagueis and that, like the entire how that happened, like how he was able to live and keep living. I don't know how they would tell it, but
that's not a what if, Steph. Come on, get it together.
Okay, what if Padme never died?
There you go. Yeah, that's another one. Well, yeah. So I think they were all that's what it that. I want to read that comment, but I'm not going to do it. It's a funny comment.
What is it? What?
I'm going to leave it alone. Here's the next one. When are we going back to Coruscant? Says is that El Nini? Look, that's a great question. Why do they keep avoiding Coruscant? I know that they switched it. It's not the capital anymore. I get it, but I would love to see it. They mentioned it a couple times, but I'd love to see Coruscant again. Let's go back to Coruscant. Let's see Coruscant on TV. I think that if we see Coruscant, what, you don't want to see it?
I don't know.
Oh man,
we spent a lot of time there.
It's the coolest planet.
Yeah, but you know because there's parts of it we haven't seen. There's a whole part of it that's just like,
I love the underbelly of Coruscant, like the
the
built
underworld.
upon. Like that to me, that was always when they did it was called Bounty Hunter. It was a video game like in 2003 that took a lot of place in the underbelly of Coruscant, and that was awesome. So I agree, but yeah. So I think that if we see it out of all the if I was gonna, there's two. Well, it's possible. Nah, I can't see Obi-Wan. Spit it out, champ. Spit it out.
Just eat it. You know what? I've had it.
Eat it.
All right. So I was thinking that you and I should talk about.
Eat it.
Yeah.
Eat your chicken wing.
Eat your chicken breast. Maybe
eat your chicken
breast. It out. Billy. Yeah. Anyway, the two series that I could see them going back to Coruscant is either Obi-Wan Kenobi. Yeah. The reason why.
Do you think so?
Flashbacks.
Only flashback, because going back there is too dangerous for him.
Yeah.
Going back there.
So you can go back.
Maybe flashback. But I think the most realistic would be the Acolyte, because 300 years beforehand, it's like
booming.
It's prime. So I would say that's probably when what do you guys think?
I would love to see with their new technology, especially with their green what's that called? The green room?
The
gallery. Yeah. They can
totally works.
I bet it would look even sicker than it did in the sequels.
Yeah. I mean, it's rife for storytelling, and we only got the main capital that we saw in the films is the main capital part of it. So, okay. All right. I see what you're saying. I see what you're laying down there.
All right, here's the next one. I think Mike already answered this one, but we'll read it anyway. I got a chance. This is from Gregory Jensen with a very generous super chat. Thank you, Gregory. I got a chance to read the High Republic books and comics, and I'm really impressed with the stories told so far. Have any of you had a chance to read any of the stories yet? If so, your thoughts. So we did touch on that earlier. The answer to that is that Steph is reading the
Light
novel.
of the Jedi. Yeah.
Mike is reading the comics, and when they finish, we'll give it's slow review.
For me, it's like always they're doing this thing now in comics where they're packaging it to sell. So they're doing 6 episode story arc instead of like each issue is a single standalone. They want to package it so you can sell 6 of them issues in one little book at Barnes and Noble. I get that. So we're going to talk more about it when we get to like 5 or 6. But I am enjoying it very much so.
Yeah, and same thing as Steph is a chapter part 2 of the
volume. Yeah, not the gallery. That's my fault. Thank you.
Okay, here's the next one. PLD, the great PLD. With Boba Fett maybe being 4 episodes, it's rumored that's going to be 4 episodes. Does that open the idea to a multitude of micro series for characters, whether it's Cad Bane, Hondo, Talon Card? So I think the answer to that question is whether or not these things are a success, and it's just a matter of how they want to tell their story, right? So if to them, if Boba Fett, we only need this is going to be like a 4-hour movie. There's a big 4-hour script that we have, because remember this is from the rumors of how The Mandalorian came to be, was that Favreau really wanted to do a Boba Fett series. He pitched his show to Dave Filoni as a Boba Fett series. That he was obsessed with Boba Fett. He loved Boba Fett. Really wanted to bring Boba Fett to that was what he wanted to do. And Filoni's like, well, there's a couple things with Boba Fett you don't really, because Favreau knows the movies. He knows the original trilogy. He doesn't, and he says this as much. He leans on Filoni to give him all of that, breakdown of the lore. So he told him, he's like, oh, well, this is what's going on with Boba Fett. So they came up with Mandalorian and all this. But Favreau wanted to tell the story. So it was no surprise that he brought Boba Fett back into the story. And now he essentially gets to tell this 4-hour movie, if it is indeed 4 episodes. And if it is 4 episodes, I believe there'll be longer episodes. And so it fits for. If there's other story, maybe Lando's 4 episodes. It's maybe. I don't have a problem with how many episodes. If it's like if they start, if it's something like, let's say, the Acolyte again. Acolyte's gonna be 4 episodes. Why? You haven't established enough. It's just 4 episodes. Like who's in it? If they say, well, it's only gonna be a 4 episode about the story of Darth Plagueis. Okay, well that makes sense. For if it's just brand new characters and you're telling me, like, if Mandalorian was 4 episodes, why?
Yeah,
I don't know any of these people. I need to learn them more.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so tell the story. Use the amount of episodes to tell the story you want to tell. Like, I think that's why I like WandaVision, where it's only 9, and it's not like the Marvel Netflix where there was they we're guaranteed 13. That's what we're doing. And half those episodes, you're like, okay, we didn't need this episode. This is not doing anything here.
Right.
Yeah.
Use the space.
And with Boba Fett, I mean, that's a character that we've grown with in movies and in for so long that a lot of people wanted to see more of him. Cad Bane is one of the sickest characters, but a lot of people aren't familiar with Cad Bane. And I think that if we do get Cad Bane, it will be in the Boba Fett series. Now, depending on how that ends, maybe they're leaving it open-ended to see if Cad Bane survives and becomes a really popular live-action character. Maybe, but I think in really rare events would they make 4-episode series on characters that we are not familiar with, as opposed to just making a show like Ahsoka.
Yeah, I agree with you. And so we're gonna find out because they have so many different things planned out. Like Andor, by the way, Andor I think needs more than 4 episodes. I'd be okay with 1 season, but I think more than 4 episodes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like a little like because the thing is with Andor, I know where it goes. I know what happens to him.
Right.
You know, so this series for Andor shouldn't really be about too much. We'll learn about his backstory. Hopefully we learn some of that stuff about his parents were separatists and we learn about all that and why he got involved. That's cool. I'm all right with that. But I think that show should really be about establishing what, like Steph, you and I were talking about whenever we talked about it last, was establishing both sides. Show me what's going on with the Empire at this side. Show me the real people inside of the Empire. Show me what's going on in the politics side with the rebellion and all of that, because I don't need the full story of Andor because I know what happens to him.
Yeah, and it's peak Empire to explore and really get in the politics and the history of it. It would be a missed opportunity if they didn't, because it could set up other shows or redefine other movies see movies in a different way.
Yep. Absolutely. So actually we did that one. I'm trying to make sure we have everybody's before I sign off. Is that new? That was last one. That was the last one. That was it. That's all we got so far. Before we do jump to another show, because SEN is going to be on today. And by the way, big props to the ladies yesterday on SEN. Absolutely annihilated it. And so people were. So just so you know, and this is something I'll address on SDN also, when we set the goals and everything too, what we've decided to do, what has been very efficient, is that the audience gets to be the producers. I mean, that's ultimately what it is. The audience is the producer. So if it's like, okay, you're sitting around in a producer meeting, you're like, well, who do you want to see? You want to see this? You want to see like who should host it? And we said, all right, well, we'll let the audience produce. And at this tier, at this goal, you guys will essentially be able to produce this what you want. And yesterday they produced a big thing, because all next week the ladies are hosting the show. They're going to be hosting from Monday through Friday. It's a massive week, and they raised a hell of a lot yesterday because of that. We're able to bring in a freelance editor. We're doing some more stuff for First Class League, so it was super beneficial to the network yesterday. So we thank the ladies for that one. And speaking of the Schmodown, speaking of everything going on with the Schmodown, look at that one.
Wow.
That is a massive. The fact that these two guys, Dan Murrell and Jeff Snyder, have never faced each other ever. They have never faced each other in free for all, sure, but never in singles, never in teams, and they go up against each other in a number 1 contender match this Friday. And the way you can get it is you go to the schmodownlive.com. You can purchase it there, or you go to patreon.com/schmodown. You become a $10 patron today, and you'll get that. You'll get the Bibiani Oyama Dimolanta versus Damon card, and then Ben Bateman versus Mark Riley, and John Roca versus Liz Shannon Miller. All of those matches happen this month, and you can get it at the $10 Patreon level. But Jeff Snyder, Dan Murrell, the winner faces Mike Kalinowski's buddy, Adam Collins, for the championship. So it's a big one. It's going to be a great match, and do not miss this one. So
that graphic's sick.
It's great. It's Brian Ward, man. He does all the graphics for this show. He's the official SEN graphic designer, and he's been with us for a long time. He just had a birthday recently. And by the way, big birthday shout out to Kate Mulligan and Brett Sheridan.
Yes.
Both their birthdays today?
Both birthdays today, yeah.
Same day? Wow.
Yeah, same day. So it's so happy birthday to both of them. Okay, look. This was an amazing show. I'm very happy that, even though with limited news, we still did it, boys and girls. We still did it, and I'm excited about it. And Steph and I are going to be over on Stereo at 10 a.m. So please come and join us. Head on over to stereo.com/Christian Harloff. If you want to ask some questions, you want to get your voice in there. Sometimes we like to put the voices in there. And
hey, Hey,
Hey.
answer this question.
Hey.
Hey.
Oh, so this is Steph just put this in here, by the way. So every Game of Thrones actor that ever appeared in Star Wars, were there that many? Let's see.
Yes.
Oh my God, I can't do this. This is one of those I click through.
Oh, here
No, you can scroll down.
Okay, Gwendolyn Christie, Pedro Pascal, Emilia Clarke. Here, you know what? We'll do this. We'll show.
What are you doing?
Why don't you relax your face before your face falls off? All right, here we go. Here is the link. So thank you to Steph for actually doing something, and Mike doesn't do anything on this show. All right, so
I do stuff.
Yeah, you eat chicken breast right before it starts.
Hey, Billy.
All right, relax there, Biff.
Oh, the website looks different to you. Okay,
so we got Gwendolyn Christie.
Oh, I see how you're doing. Yeah.
Yeah, Pedro Pascal, Emilia Clarke.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, Ian White. I see. Oh,
yeah,
that's right.
Who's this?
She was the Twilight.
That's Tonks
from Harry
Nymphadora Tonks.
Harry Potter, yeah.
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 What was he? He voiced Tiber Swan in Star Wars Rebels. Okay. Yeah. He was also in Rome, by the way. He's great in Rome. He was more who the hell was he in? He wasn't Mark Anthony. Who was he in Rome? I can't remember. Shoot, somebody big. Who was he? He was both
Jandadana.
Oh, you're right. Absolutely, he was. Thomas Brody Sangster
first
played
officer in the new trilogy. I think Last Skywalker. He was in Last Skywalker.
Okay,
I think so. Yeah.
Julian Glover was Empire Strikes Back. All right, that's right. Was that it? Well, I mean, what is that it? That's a lot still.
I think there's a little bit more, but they're not putting. It's not like that.
Not doing all the ones.
It's not main characters that you would pick up from Game of Thrones, but they're like crossover in the background.
Yeah, that was a fair amount, though. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, from all the voice stuff and all that stuff too. Okay, look, we're going to be heading on over to Stereo right now. Please join us. Thank you guys so very much for joining us. Thank you to Mike. Thank you to Steph. And thank you to you guys. We'll be back here next week, as always.
As always.
I can feel your anger. It gives you focus.
Mm-hmm.